event is just about being completed. So thanks to our hard-working marshals and recovery crews as well. We'll see if whether those cars caught up in the incident will return. I think that Tony Rid car pretty badly damaged. A corner off the car at the very least. So we'll see in the small gap between races for the Mazda 7, something like 2.5 hours, when we'll see him again. Potentially unlikely we'll see that car, I'm afraid, but we can look forward to our next race on our programme. We're giving you the grid for the cars haven't actually come out onto the grid, so we've got some more time to talk about Roadsports. So it's a 45-minute race. The cars will make pit stops between 15 and 30 minutes, and those who have had success at previous rounds will have additional time to serve in the pit stops. Each pit stop has to be 60 seconds minimum, apart from those with success or those who have non-factory sequential gearboxes. So in Class A, number 6, Ryan Parkin, who starts 4th, will have a 10-second pit stop penalty for finishing 3rd at Snetterton. 89, sorry, no, we're still in Class A, aren't we? 141, Alec Livesley, who we believe now going solo in the Ginetta G20 from pole position. He will have a 10-second pit stop penalty for having a sequential gearbox. And 187, Dylan Brichter, who starts alongside, will also have a 10-second penalty. Cars are appearing to the grid, where potentially the pole car not there. We'll come to that in a moment. In Class B, then car number 5, Jonathan Packer, had a 10-second penalty, and number 89, Scott Parkin, has a 20-second success penalty, and that is for winning Class B last time out at Snetterton. And in Class C, number 3, Ben McCauley, had a 10-second success penalty. 23, Matt Creed has a 25-second success penalty for winning the last 2 rounds here on the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit and at Snetterton last time out. And 36, Sam McKee has a 5-second success penalty. And then Class D, number 13, Daniel and Stephen Codford have a 10-second success penalty. 175, Paul Keynes and Callum Perfect have a 10, and 316, Ivan Mez has a 15 for winning last time out at Snetterton within Class D. So the cars are lining up on the grid. Now the Ginetta is there, it's weaving its way through, so that's good to see. The car on pole position of Alec Livesley late on parade, but it is going to be there ahead of a rolling start for the TDI Roadsports series. So that great Ginetta Coupe, which has a Duratec engine, will go there from pole position, and alongside the Audi RS3 TCR machine of Dylan Brichter, who's driving in various different cars over the course of the season, but was a winner here, I think, in this car on the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit 6 weeks or so ago. Then on the second row, Phil Knibb in the Seat Super Copa will start there on row 2, alongside Ryan Parkin in the Audi TDI Diesel. On the third row, we get the first of the shared cars, Johnny Weston Taylor, former Formula 4 champion with the 750 Motor Club, will start the Lotus Elise S2 Series 2. He shared with Andy Hyden, Motorsport Specials champion, so lots of 750 Motor Club success in that car. And they start alongside number 33, which is Leon Collins, who's come for Integra, driving the new racing. In the fourth row, when we get the Class B cars, the Parkin in Class B, in the Diesel, Volkswagen Golf, had a couple of wins this season in Roadsports. Couple of brilliant factory wins, one at Croc, Anglesey and Snetterton in the car. He starts alongside Jonathan Packer, the other winner of the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. So 2 Class B winners start alongside each other. And then Froze and Villamoria. Up next is the Volkswagen Sirocco alongside the Coleman BMW car. May start that. Mark Carver, Jonathan Sung. And then 3. A bit further back, Class C pole position is in fact on the Civic, see earlier in the season. Maybe we'll see. Class D on pole position, full paint and talent perfect. So we'll both half time out in that class and then we'll be compact. So we'll just get the one green flag lap this time, so we'll be straight into 45 minutes of TDI Roadsports Series racing. So busy old race, four classes, close to power to weight ratio, so we're going to be rarity in the car speed, particularly entertaining because they're competitive in qualifying with every different type of car. That's 7 different types of car in the top 7 positions. It's the Janetta of Alec Livsley, experienced club racer there on the pole, in a Richter alongside the big touring car Audis, and the Audi fuel power towards Paddock Hill. The red lights are on, the lights go out, the race gets underway. It's a good start from Alec Livsley using the lightness of the Janetta to burst into the lead in towards Paddock Hill Bend. Phil Niven to stay it up the inside of Dylan Richter's Audi, but the Audi hangs on. The Audi TT meanwhile of Ryan Parkin dives up the outside of Phil Niven to grab third position into the Druids hairpin. His twin brother Scott's made a very good start. Scott Parkin in the Volkswagen Gull. He's up to fifth from something like 7th on the grid. So there we go. Big contact into Graham Hill Bend and a straight to the lead. Alec Livsley's been punted out of the lead and his car started to roll across the circuit. Let's hope nobody makes contact. A real shame there's been a bridge from the Audi to the side of the director of Alec Livsley. So Alec Livsley then is about to get back going, but he's right at the back of the pack. So a real shame there for him. So it's Dylan Richter. Sixth position is Jonathan Packer's goal, 7th is Liam Collins, 8th is Rose Billimore. The leaders together as they come down to Graham Hill Bend. Audi versus Sayer, now the two touring cars at the front, and the leaders were slowing seemingly out of Graham Hill Bend. And actually the second car, so that makes sense. And this is for lead. Druids, out of Argue. The exit of Druid, the number 30 Sayer will lead in the right track, so that is the Sayer Leon. Try and push it out right, is it? Makes sense, guys, who tries to reach that again. It's a just doesn't work out. Of that one anytime. Martin did a good job to get Mike's car into the gravel, so Mike Murray out of the gravel back on his way. Safety car can support that car. So we'll see if we wave that through and then we'll get the race leader behind. So let's give you a rundown of the order. Leading is 187 Dylan Richter in the Audi RS3. Second is 92 Phil Niven and Leon. Third is the 6th Ryan Parkin in the Audi TT. In 4th is 89 Scott Parkin on the Golf. 5th is 53 Johnny Weston Taylor's latest release. 6th on the 5 Golf Patrick Golf. In 7th is 33 Liam Collins, it's on the Integra. 8th is 127 Rose Billimoria's Volkswagen Sirocco. 9th is 56 James Burch. 10th, good start. The 147 start of Matt Rowley. The Class C lead on the Civic. 3 of the Class D of 10 of the Class D leader is 19th position. So the Class D lead has got Daniel Cogswell in the Nissan now.
So Underway has been allowed to ride the safety car, so we're enjoying the back of the try but there is going to be a job Janetta coming in. This is a case of how far is that one?
It's obviously a longer race, so that's helpful for him. changes as this race is ongoing. So safety lights are out, again racing underway at the end of this lap with about 4 minutes to go. In the Audi back in everybody else. Surrey and the Road. So 10 years of racing this car prepared by Darkside Developments. Very good restart from Dylan Richter. As you see, the checkered flag then goes across the line with Phil Near in second spot. Up 9/10 behind on the line, and Robin Parkin in third. Back to Jonathan Hacker in the area motorsport goal. The petrol engine car there in sixth spot. The rest of the field then flow up across the line. And it is immediately making position as he goes into the battlefield. Dylan Richter, big restart up here.
We'll see what we can do. TDI. We'll see what we got.
Yeah, Ryan Parkin's the second fastest up the race, 51.91. So for Ryan Parkin, he's closed in on the top two. Ryan had actually coached this year in Roadsports, a couple of second places, which came at Anglesey and on the Grand Transport Free Circuit in that car. And he is certainly putting two ahead. Heinrich Priest impressions across the line for big 7 laps. Dylan Richter, Phil Nib. they're going to go for a moment either side of Rory Melia's Mini, but they decided to go wrong. That's a bit of a brick just prevented that bit of traffic. And for the first time, he hasn't got filled in fully in his mirrors as he has over the last lap of the laps. And then Ryan Parkin following there in the third spot. There was a bit back I noticed, I think a change. Liam Collins has put himself in the sixth and ahead of the Packer. So that's the 110 ahead of the GTR. Substantial pressure we're now through towards Surtees and McLaren with a bit of Lappery up ahead as well. Get back onto the power. Phil Lindo has to turn attack to defence for a brief moment. That allows Dylan to focus on the battery. Ryan Parkin now fully in the slipstream. Phil Lindo follows him through as they pass the Lappery there of the number 3 of Ben McCauley. Through they go in towards Paddock Hill Bend. Right now it's just Ryan Parkin just putting the pressure on. He gets a good run though out to the first corner, looking for the inside move. Phil Lindo, is he trying to cover that off? I think he does, and Lindo manages to hold on to second place for now. But Ryan Parkin is just letting him know that Team Darkside car is there. Pit window is now open, so the pit window board is being shown. We'll see who comes in early and which drivers decide to wait till later in that 15-minute slot. You know, it's definitely raining now, isn't it? So this is going to very much mix things up. So the three leaders turn their way through clearways. How slippery is the circuit going to get? We know from the earlier races it can get very treacherous out there, and which cars drivers may that tell. Ryan Parkin's got a very good run. He's almost alongside Phil Lindo. He hasn't quite got the power in the Audi TT, so he just has to back off. But that had really closed them both back to Dylan Brickton. So top three absolutely together as they head through Paddock Hill Bend. Scott Parkin's still there in fourth. He's only 8 seconds behind. He's just ahead of Johnny Western Table's Lotus. And then Liam Collins in the Honda Integra 6. The Ginetta up to 7th. Alec Livesley, who I think probably is about the quickest person on the circuit, he's up into 7th spot in the Ginetta G20. So this is a good recovery drive after that opening lap incident.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, at this moment for Livesley, the only way is up. He's got Liam Collins now, I think, will be next in his sight, but as our leaders now turn their way through in towards clearways, and Brickton still leads in ahead of Nim and Parkin. And I wonder, with this rain and the pit window now open, I wonder if drivers are just going to wait to see how much the track changes. And I wonder if there's a chance here that you know, you get your winter specialist out there if you're sharing a car. But that's not the case for Brickton, Nim and Parkin. They've just got to adapt and see what they can do. And getting a little bit held up by the little bit of traffic there, Ryan Parkin, so lost a little bit of time. But we'll see now the top three make their way down towards where the bend.
Yeah, these cars do run on treaded tyre. Obviously, dangerous setup if it gets particularly wetter. So like you said there, Kieran, they may just wait to see if it does get very wet. We heard, didn't we, from the BMW drivers about how they can change the tyre pressures to suit the wet conditions. So if it does get a lot wetter, which we will wait and see, we haven't. But I think it had one car has made its way into the pit lane, but apart from that, we've seen very little of that. As I say, that Phil Lindo is in, just as I said, one of the leaders is in. So out of second place, Phil Lindo for the pit. So that's going to release Ryan Parkin to go after Dylan Brickton. The gap between them just under a second. So 187, the RS3 Audi, and then the TDI for Ryan Parkin there in second place, number 6, chasing the leader.
Livesley's also into the pits as well, so pitting slightly early then to see if he can make his way through the traffic. We'll see him come down the pit lane now. By our understanding, he's driving solo, so not expecting a driver change for Livesley, but it's been a really strong first stint after the first lap of Graham Hill Bend. He's done well to negotiate his way through. He was second place before he pitted. Now we'll pull up here, give it the once over, of course, and possibly even, as you say, let's see what the tyre pressures are doing. Give it a little setup adjustments to help in these tricky conditions.
Or maybe just nothing, because I think that's what's going on, not very much.
Nothing is also a very solid option.
Leaders are absolutely together as they come across the lines, and Ryan Parkin running Dylan Brickton under pressure. Obviously, Ryan Parkin runs the car that is ahead of him because it is a Darkside development run Audi, the RS3, and Ryan Parkin, along with twin brother Scott, is Darkside development. But I suspect that's going to stop Ryan trying pretty hard to get the lead away from Dylan Brickton. They come down here into Graham Hill Bend. It's the TCR specification car still ahead, but Ryan Parkin's much quicker through Graham Hill Bend as they head down the Cooper Straight then into Surtees. Not a prime overtaking opportunity really, so Ryan Parkin slots back in behind. So this has been a full-on battle really, hasn't it? These two have been involved in, okay, they killed Nib earlier, but battle, they've had a stint-long battle. It may go right to the end.
Yeah, and we'll see what the pit windows can do in that sense as well. Here comes Ryan Parkin, then falls alongside Dylan Brichter and breezes his way past then before the braking zone in towards Paddock Hill Bend. Ryan Parkin takes the lead off of Dylan Brichter then, and on his way up the rise now towards Druids, and tries now to build the gap as much as possible.
That looks rather easy. I wonder if Dylan Brichter had word on the pit radio that Ryan was quicker, because he didn't fight very hard to keep Ryan Parkin at bay. Now in the pit stops, as I understand it, they both have the same pit stop additional time of 10 seconds, so once I've got that right, it shouldn't really change during the pit window. Phil Knibb doesn't have any time left to the serve, so we saw him make that early stop. He could be the driver in strong contention. He's currently in 12th overall after making his stop, so as long as the stop went to plan for Phil Knibb, he could be in good contention. Now that I wonder if Dylan Brichter's car's running all right, or whether Ryan Parkin's just much quicker, because all of a sudden Ryan Parkin's 1.5 seconds ahead. Now he's got past his teammate, basically, Dylan Brichter.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on those lap times. He was lapping in the high 53s. So
it's that Parkin's getting quicker, I think. Yeah. He's on a 52.4, so he's got lots of pace in that Audi TT. So Ryan Parkin now fully up to speed, and we think that rain shower was pretty brief, wasn't it? So the lap time now back where they were in the early stages. So third position is 53, Johnny Weston Taylor, who's got ahead of 89 Scott Palmer. So a change there as the Lotus gains a position. In fifth, number 5, Jonathan Packer, and then sixth is the Class C leader, 147, which is Matt Rowling in his Honda Civic. 7th is 23, Matt Creed. 8th is 56, James Birch. 9th is the Palmer BMW, and 10th is 36, Sam McKean. Obviously that's going to carry on changing while the pit stops go on. So for Ryan Parkin, he is now 3.5 seconds ahead of Dylan Brichter as he continues to pull away.
There's a problem for the 33 then, that's Liam Collins in his Honda Integra. It's a puff of smoke as he went in towards Paddock Hill Bend. He's had to park the car on the left-hand side on the rise. So he's had to stop the car out on track. He has pulled it over to the left-hand side as far as possible, but that's directly, that's one of the fastest parts of the circuit. He's just to the left of what is the racing line.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Liam Collins stopped in qualifying as well, didn't he? Sort of after about 20 minutes, so exactly that same point again. The car is broken, so slightly bizarre. So does that mean we may get an interruption to this race? And obviously, if that's the case, that will suit people who have not yet pitted, potentially. So let's see what happens. Yellow flags waving then at the Marshall Post. Drivers therefore not want to overtake, so we've got to be aware of that. They are catching cars that are moving quite a bit slower than what they are. We're halfway through the race. We've had 22.5 minutes, and there's 22.5 minutes to go.
Safety car deployed. I kind of thought it's right in the firing line, that car, the 33. Liam Collins, unfortunately his race comes to an end and the safety car's deployed, which is fantastic news if your name is Ryan Parkin or Dylan Brichter.
And straight in comes Ryan Parkin. So it's a little bit awkward to know when to pit. Do you wait until the safety car's bunched everyone up, or do you come in immediately? Well, Ryan Parkin's coming in immediately, as I think most people are who haven't yet pitted. So I think for Phil Knibb and a couple of the others who pitted early, Alec Livesley another, may well lose out potentially due to this, but who's going to make the quicker pit stop is sort of another one. Johnny Weston Taylor to Andy Hiley have also not got a pit stop success penalties. It's all getting very, very, very busy down in the pit lane now as everyone works their way in. They've got to park at a 45-degree angle, which they are all doing to give as much space as possible. So there's Johnny Weston Taylor now ready to hand over to Andy Hiley. So that means very few cars are on the track. So who's the safety car going to pick up? Presumably just a random car, which it's doing now.
Yeah, Phil Knibb is just making his way in towards Paddock Hill Bend, so the safety car's just picked up somebody to start a queue, and then I assume we'll pick up the race leader later on, because of course right now the race leader is Ryan Parkin, according to the timing screens. But of course once Phil Knibb does a lap round, he then becomes the leader. That of course is it's for Knibb here. He can still go round. It's a slightly reduced pace, but not as a reduced pace if it was directly behind the safety car.
Yeah, 147 hasn't pitted, so that means the Class C Honda Civic of Matt Rowley is now the race leader. But I suspect he'll be in to hand over to Tony Perfect in a few moments. So who's going to get out of the pits first here? Ryan Parkin's Audi is being pushed back onto the lane, and I think that means Ryan Parkin should be, and he's just got out ahead of the safety car, which if we don't sort the order out would be very important.
No, he's been stopped. So he couldn't quite beat the safety guy out. He has to wait now until the crocodile queue passes before he'll be let out to join there. So Knibb will be ahead of him.
So is this put Phil Knibb into the lead of the race?
I believe so.
Looks like it may have done. So that early pit stop, which normally doesn't work on this level safety, but like you said, he wasn't caught behind it, was he, Phil Knibb? So then because of this red light, which now has gone green, he'll start. In a race car isn't necessarily the easiest thing, but they've got going. So that early pit stop for Phil Knibb seems to have worked out very well.
Yes, and it's put quite a bit of traffic between himself and Ryan Parkin. So that's going to be a big plus in Knibb's book. Of course, that's also the Ginetta as well. The Ginetta's on.
That's almost a lap down.
Yeah.
So here we want to safety car wave by Alec Livesley, but we'll see what happens. That's not sort of set in stone. That will happen. And it's going to be a little while before everything sorts itself out. One of the Rasputin cars have headed towards that Honda Integra, so it'll be a little while before we get racing back underway. And then once I think everyone's gone through this pit stop cycle, we'll give you a rundown of the order. Now, if that Honda Civic can get back out before the safety car queue, we could have a really bizarre situation where the Matt Rowling and Tony Perfect Honda leads the race. It is on its way. Red lights haven't yet come on. This is going to be very tight to have potentially a very bizarre result to this race. And this is from pitting late in the safety car window. I said about if you do wait till everyone's bunched up is what Matt Rowling did. And Tony Perfect then has headed out into the race as the leader. So the 147 Honda Civic is the leader of the race. The car you can see there at Paddock Hill Bend. Well, that does mean it's the last car in the queue is also going to be the race leader. So I'm not quite sure what we'll do about this. The Honda Integra is now on the back of the tow road, so that's on its way.
Well, we'll see what the timing, if the timing screens agrees with us. That's the most important part. So there goes Knibb then. Yes, so Tony Perfect is leading the race in Class C.
So bizarre things can happen when safety cars happen during the window. I wouldn't quite put that on my book of what I expected, I must admit.
So that means that Tony Perfect can join the back of this queue, and I highly doubt the safety car will let everybody go, pick up Tony, and then we'll go racing. Unless that is what they do. But if not, Tony Perfect has got nearly a whole lap ahead of Philip Knibb, which is pretty bizarre.
Yeah, and in this race they've set a new lap record within their class as well, so it gets even better.
It's just all rosy for Tony Perfect and co.
Yeah, Matt Rowling, who would have done that lap record of 54.85 at half a second under Dan Rogers' lap record. So what are we doing about safety car lights? So we're not yet waving anybody through, are we? So sometimes we just catch whichever car and then we get racing back underway as quickly as possible. Another time where we'll get the leader behind the safety car. And lights are still on at the moment. So let's give a rundown of the order while we can. So leader is 147, which is Tony Perfect, who's taken over from from Matt Rowling. So Matt Rowling starting, Tony Perfect now in the Honda Civic leading 147. Second is 92, Phil Knibb in the Seat Leon. Third is number 6, Ryan Parkin in the Audi TT. Fourth is 187, Dylan Brichter in the Audi RS3. Fifth is 89, Scott Parkin in the Volkswagen Golf TDI and leads Class B. Sixth is number 5, Jonathan Packer in the Volkswagen Golf GTI. Seventh is 53, which is Andy Hiley in the Lotus Elise that Johnny Weston Taylor started. In 8th is 36, Sam McKee's BMW 328i. In 9th is 141. Alec Livesley's Ginetta, and we are waving cars past the safety car. In 10th is 127, which is Rose Billamoria's Volkswagen Sirocco. 11th is 56, James Burke's Robinson Corsa. 12th is 166, which is the Coleman BMW M3. 13th is 116, James Alford's Honda Civic. 14th is 23, Matt Creed's Renault Clio. Leading the top 15, number 3 is Ben McCauley's Lotus Elise. So the only class we haven't mentioned is Class D. That class leader is in 20th, that's number 13, which is a Nissan Almera, now driven by Stephen Cottrell, the car that Dan Cottrell started earlier on.
So they are letting everybody through, so they're going to pick up the 147 of Tony Perfect. So his start's going to be more than perfect if he wants to try and keep the lights in near the parking lot. But they are in different classes. The one he's focused on is the 36 of Sam McKee, his second car.
And it's the car ahead of him in the queue, so it's almost a whole lap. Now what Tony Perfect may not know is that he's leading the race, and therefore he'll have to stay behind the safety car. I think that's all been done okay, hasn't it? So like you say, he's probably not going to hang on to a race win, but it's going to be a potentially very good result, and leading the race overall is pretty cool in a Honda Civic.
I wonder what's going through Tony's mind. Is it a case of, are you sure? Yeah. I did see Ryan Parkin going around the outside of the safety car in towards Paddock Hill Bend, and he almost slowed as if to say, are you sure?
Yeah. Some of these teams will have pit-to-car radios, so that will obviously help communication. Now, are we going to get another lap behind the safety car just to bunch the pack up? It's going very, very slowly, and Clearway's trying to allow that. There are going to be some slower cars in between them, like which is Tony's son, Callum Perfect, which is the second car in the queue, quite amusingly. So you've got the two Perfects at the front of the queue. Is the safety car going to do another lap? Yeah, just to bunch everybody up a little bit more. So really, there was a lot of cars between Phil Knibb and Ryan Parkin, aren't there? So that is the real chase for what will become the win, I think. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slower cars between them. So Ryan Parkin may well lose time on the restart. How many cars on the lead lap then? It's 8, isn't it? 8 cars on the lead lap. And Alec Livesley, frustratingly for him, just off the lead lap. It'd be good for that Honda Civic to pin that late pit stop. If it wasn't for that, it would be on the lead lap of Class A, but that means they're basically a whole lap behind, frustratingly for him. So an interesting sort of sprint race we're going to have over something like 13 minutes of the race to go.
This one coming for Tony Perfect, he's going to be hounded and harried in towards Paddock Hill Bend, but he will be leading. Those safety car lights have been extinguished, so we will be racing this time around, and Tony Perfect will lead them off then and get this race underway once again under green flag racing with roughly 13 minutes left on the clock, and he'll now make his way through in towards Clearways now. Get that power down, the safety car will pull off into the pit lane, and here goes Tony Perfect to get this restart underway. Yeah, so what people have got to make sure they don't overtake before the line, because there's some quick Class A cars behind slower cars, and everyone being pretty circumspect at this stage. So Tony Perfect's lead over Phil Knibb is 2 seconds, so it's 1:47 from 92, and then 6 Ryan Parkin is third. He's so 5 seconds behind Phil Knibb with all that traffic to deal with. Then another big gap back to Gillian Richter, who very much got caught in the slower traffic. He's got Scott Parkin just behind him, who's 4th, and a small gap back to Johnny Weston Taylor and Jonathan Pratt, Scott Parkin 5th. So Tony Perfect, our leader, who's now been unlapped by the Ginetta. So Alec Livesley makes it 9 cars on the lead lap. Rose Billamori makes it 10 cars on the lead lap, and now he leads the lead of the race because Phil Knibb goes through. So the early pit stop for Phil Knibb did work out in the end, and he's taking the lead. Yeah, absolutely, and what that's allowed as well, the Ginetta making its way through Livesley, knew that was an important move to make, and now he can try and get some pace down there. We saw he was the quickest car in qualifying, as Phil now going around the outside of Firoz Billamoria, not for position, mind, but Billamoria, doesn't really matter what car you're in, Billamoria is going to battle.
Firoz Billamoria, who raced the Honda Monaro in the British GT Championship in the mid-2000s. So he's got a bit of experience. He has now though gone a lap down as Phil Knibb has got through. Phil Knibb to Ryan Parkin is 3.7 seconds, so that's a gap to watch. Ryan Parkin is now second away from Tony Perfect. He's still there in third. Dylan Brichter is in 4th and Scott Parkin 5th. And then there's quite a big gap now back to Johnny Weston Taylor, who's 6th and only just ahead of Jonathan Packer. Those two cars going down in towards Graham Hill Bend. But for the lead of the race, and then a couple of lap cars between Phil Knibb and Ryan Parkin. Can Ryan Parkin do anything about the stay-up lay-on ahead? The gap was 3.7 seconds at the start of the lap, is now 2.4 seconds, so a much quicker lap for Ryan Parkin. He seems to have the pace here.
He does indeed, and we'll be looking to build on that pace after the safety car, get that car up to temperature.
Is that Scott Parkin for the pits? So Scott Parkin, the Class B leader, into the pit lane, so this is a real drama then for Scott Parkin. Is this a penalty? Or, no, it's a problem, isn't it? He's gone to his team, so Scott Parkin, what would have been a 4th Class B win looks off the cards now. So Class B now led by Jonathan Packer in his Golf GTI by a very long way. I think the Rose Moria a lap down pretty much. Will take 2nd in Class B. So there's our first bit of drama really after the safety car.
Yeah, Eagle Mayers as well in 316 leading Class D, so he really took advantage of that pit stops there. So he's done a great job there. Class C, of course, we know is going to be led by Tony Perfect at the moment, and we'll wait to see what sort of lap times he and Sam McKee are setting. In terms of lap times, Tony Perfect quicker. So not only has he made that, the team have made that work perfectly in the pit stops, but they're actually getting away from Sam McKee.
Big squeal of tyres. Is there any car that went for a spin or just a big slide? I don't think through the tyres from somewhere, but I think there was no particular drama. Yeah, you mentioned Ivan Mares there. He must have got ahead of Stephen Cogswell because he was behind during the safety car, so that's a change to Class D lead. Ivan Mares, who was the winner last time out at Snefton, might be about to make it 2 in a row. But for the Class A leaders and the overall lead, the gap continues to come down, I think. It's now 2 seconds, 4/10 quicker with Ryan Parkin over Phil Knibb. It seems a bit better when they're in that traffic as well, and they're shortly going to be getting towards the traffic again, so that could be interesting. Dylan Richter has now got 3rd, so he's put himself up ahead of Tony Perfect, who's dropped to 4th. Andy Hiley is now in 5th, and then Jonathan Packer is 6th. And there's what, 8.5, 9 minutes to go. So plenty of time yet for Ryan Parkin to catch, but he couldn't pass Phil Knibb on the road earlier when he was battling away with him, so it's not going to be an easy task. They're lapping those the slower Ford car, which has now got Gareth Evans at the wheel, former Formula V racer, making his racing return this weekend, so he goes a lap down. And the lead gap is now 9/10 of a second. A new fastest lap for Ryan Parkin. He's done a 51.38. A new fastest lap of the race for the driver in 2nd spot. That is some second or so underneath the previous lap record. So there's lots of pace in the Audi TT. And Ryan Parkin is right now on terms with Phil Knibb as they turn their way through Graham Hill Bend. The leader 92, Phil Knibb just ahead, number 6. Ryan Parkin, a real battle we have on our hands for the last 8 minutes.
We do indeed, as we now turn their way through in towards McLaren then, as Knibb leads Parkin. They head their way now through this long right-hander with the power down here, and Ryan Parkin really closing up to the back of Phil Knibb then. They've got a bit of lappery to deal with as well, as Knibb looks to get to the left-hand side of the track. And where does Ryan Parkin go then? Looking for a move. Not quite this time as he holds firm for now. Back on the power we go. Might get the better run here. Prioritises that better run as well. Looks to the right-hand side of the track. Will Knibb try and defend this one? No, the door's open as they make their way through. Was there a little bit of contact there? I'm not sure, but Parkin has got his move done. He went down the inside and has got the move done, heading in towards Graham Hill Bend. And that's Parkin ahead of Knibb.
Yeah, like you said, it didn't really cover the inside line, did he? And that what allowed Ryan Parkin to utilise the inside line. Don't think there was a touch, and then Phil Knibb had to open the door fully. Ryan Parkin went through. A good move there for Ryan Parkin, looking to take his first victory in this car. I think he's not won in Roadsports before, that is for certain. So across the line comes Ryan Parkin with 6.5 minutes of the race to go. He's the new leader by about a second over Phil Knibb, and they've got quite a lot of traffic to deal with, so we'll monitor how that goes. So it's now number 6 Ryan Parkin at lead, 2nd is 92 Phil Knibb, 3rd is 187 Dylan Richter, in 4th position think a change on this lap. So number 53, Andy Hiley, has got himself ahead of 147. Tony Perfect is about to lose that position into paddock, I think, with number 5, Jonathan Packer. So we're finally going to get the Class B leader, shortly anyway, up ahead of the Class C leader in a few moments' time. Then in 7th position, 36, Sam McKee. 8th is 141, Alex Livesley. 9th is 127th, Rose Villamoria. 10th is 56, James Birch. And Ryan Parkin continues to pull clear. We're about to put a lap on what is now the 8th place car of Sam McKee, who's just lost out to Alex Livesley. And Ryan Parkin's lead gap now back up 2 seconds over Phil Knibb. So he's certainly got the consistent pace in that car. Are we going to get any significant changes in the classes before the end of this race? I don't think so. I think Ivor Mayers in Class D is pulling clear of Stephen Croswell. Although they're both being caught by Callum Perfect. So son of Tony, who's on his way to win Class C, Callum Perfect much quicker than those ahead within Class D. Can he close them in? Or is he just too far behind at this stage? It's half a minute behind, so even though it's going a couple of seconds quicker, I don't think we're going to see a positional change. But it is a new lap record within the class for Callum Perfect in Class D. I think the majority of class records have gone during the course of this race. So into the final 5 minutes, and Ryan Parkin's lead is 2.6 seconds over Phil Knibb. So that gap just continuing to go out. Then Dylan Brichter in 3rd, Andy Hiley in 4th. Jonathan Packer is now up into 5th place, and Tony Perfect therefore has dropped to 6th. But a good overall result for a Class C car, that nevertheless. So Ryan Parkin across the line, about 5 laps to go, I think. So number 6 continues to lead. Ryan Parkin, the 33-year-old director of Darkside Development, so a diesel expert. He's from Barnsley in South Yorkshire, racing for 4 years, initially winning the Track Day Championship, and then moving over to the 750 Motor Club after that. This is a 2017 Audi TT, a front-wheel drive 2-litre TDI engine car. Car that started live in the Volkswagen Racing Cup, and the Darkside Developments have converted it to a TDI engine and had to rebuild the car to make it work. It obviously works very well because Ryan Parkin is about to complete 40 laps with an extended race lead over Phil Knibb. Dylan Brichter in 3rd position is a 30-year-old from Surrey in this Audi RS3 TCR, also prepared by Darkside Developments, and over a decade's worth of racing experience. Oh, and we've got a car, and it is Dylan Brichter having a big moment through Paddock Hill Bend. The car in 3rd position, getting very sideways through Paddock Hill Bend. He just touched the gravel, didn't see what did that, whether that was to do with the traffic, unsure. A big moment there from Dylan Brichter, but he got it all back under control. With 2.5 minutes of the race to go, here comes Ryan Parkin across the line. So he should squeeze 3 more laps in. Lapping consistently in 51s now, a very quick pace. I don't know if anyone else has got into the 51s in this race. I don't think they have. Oh, apart from Alec Livesley, he's got in the 51s. But he's almost a lap behind. He's just actually on ahead, I think, on the road. There he is, just ahead on the road with Ryan Parkin. But lapping very quickly, the second quickest car. Oh, we've got our first track limit penalty of the day, possibly. Matt Cree, number 23, is getting a 5-second track limit penalty. He's 3rd within Class C. And is that going to affect him within his class? I don't think it is. The Renault Clio driver, Matt Creed, from Maidstone, the business owner, his 2010 Renault Clio there, getting pinged for exceeding track limits. and he runs in what is 12th position overall. So for Ryan Parkin, he leads by about 6 seconds now over Phil Knibb. And doesn't seem, well, we might get a change for 6th because Alec Livesley catching Tony Perfect, so our erstwhile leader and our erstwhile poleman might have a change. I think definitely going to be a change, so Alec Livesley's going to be able to get the Ginetta up to 6th, but not the result that he would have been looking for. As Ryan Parkin is about to get the last lap board, so the last lap board goes out to Ryan Parkin, our leader of the race, and Ryan, who's had a 2nd this season here on the Grand Prix circuit at Brands when he shared with Scott Parkin and Anglesey as well. He had a 3rd last time out at Snetterton, but it looks like Ryan Parkin's going to be a winner in Roadsports this season. Just got to navigate his way through the final lap. Down into Grand Hill Bend he comes, now 6 seconds clear of Phil Knibb. Who in turn is about 20 seconds ahead of Dylan Brichter, so some of the gaps have opened up in this final part of the race. And Ryan Parkin then turns his way through clearways, through Clark Curve. The checkered flag will be prepared, the checkered flag will go out then to Ryan Parkin, race winner here at Brands Hatch Jaguar Roadsports Series. 2nd will go the way of Phil Knibb, and the gap at the line was 6 seconds, 6.04 seconds between the top 2. And 3rd will go the way of Dylan Brichter in the Audi RS3. He was the winner here on the Grand Prix circuit. It's not quite that result today, but it's a 3rd place for Dylan Brichter. 4th will go the way of Andy Heidi and Johnny Weston Taylor. And 5th, a Class B win for Jonathan Packer, who's won both the races here on the Brands Hatch circuit. He won on the Grand Prix circuit in July, and now he's won on the Indy circuit today. And he took 5th overall. And then the last guy on the lead lap in 6th place is Alec Livesley. 2nd in Class B behind Jonathan Packer with Feroz Billamoria. And 3rd was James Alford. In Class C, the winner, Tony Perfect. He was a lap down in the end, but it's a class win with Matt Rowling. 2nd in Class C went to Sam McKee, 27 seconds behind. And in 3rd was Matt Creed. Then in Class D, Ivor Mayers takes the win in Class D in the BMW Compact. 2nd goes the way of Daniel and Stephen Cogswell. And 3rd to Paul Keynes and Callum Perfect. So that completes the Jaguar Roadsports Series. If you want to look at the top 10, here they are. The winner number 6 was Ryan Parkin. 2nd, 92, Phil Knibb. 3rd, 187, Dylan Brichter. 4th with 53, Johnny Weston Taylor and Andy Hiley. 5th for number 5, Jonathan Packer. 6th for 141, Alec Livesley. In 7th for 147, Tony Perfect. 8th, 36, Sam McKee. 9th, 127, for Feroz Billamoria. And 10th was 116, which was James Alford. So good to have the Jaguar Roadsports Series here on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit today. So we will now look forward to our next